Welcome to the Purdue Global Academic Success Center's presentation on how to read and critically analyze a scientific article. When deciding if a scientific journal is one you want to use in your assignment, read the abstract first. The abstract is a paragraph that contains a brief summary of the entire article. It has a little bit of an introduction on the topic covered, gives a little bit of details about the methods and materials used, the most significant results, and the conclusions that can be inferred from those results. Reading the introduction will then further guide you on the subject area the research group did their experiments in. You want to make sure the topics covered in the introduction relate to what you're talking about in your assignment. Even if the abstract looked related to what your assignment topic is on, you should really know after reading the introduction. If, after reading the introduction, you realize that the journal article is not as closely related to your assignment topic as you thought, then you don't need to read the rest of the paper or reference it at all. You can go back to PubMed or another database and read more abstracts from other journal articles, trying to find ones that will help you with your assignment. If after you read the introduction and you really decide that this paper will work for your assignment, read the results section. The results section is probably the area you will reference the most when citing the article in your assignment. This section tells you the significant and non-significant findings the researchers discovered. If there are some tests or experiment methods performed in the results section that you're not familiar with, you can go to the materials and methods section of the article to read more about how the tests were performed to gain a better understanding of them. It is not necessary to read all of the materials and methods section unless you're wanting to do similar experiments or tests yourself for your own research project. However, it is good practice to review the methods section to assess whether or not the study design is appropriate and well thought out. When reading the results, make sure you also look at all the figures and images and read the captions for them so you can see and understand the data from which the results came from. To make sure you really understand the results, pretend like you're teaching a person about what the figures, images, and results mean in the simplest terms possible. If you can do that, then that means you understand what the article is saying and why the results are important for the topic you are covering in your assignment. Some journal articles only have either a discussion or conclusions section, or it can have both. The discussion and conclusions are when the authors of the journal article tell you how the results relate to the broader scientific topic they were researching, and if the results they discovered were similar or different than what other researchers in their labs discovered. This is also where the authors tell you why their research is important and how it will help the scientific community or the world as a whole. Reading through the article titles that were cited is an easy way to find more journal articles that you can cite for your assignment, since they likely will be related to your topics as well. It isn't always necessary to read the materials and methods section of a paper unless you want a better understanding of the tests or techniques you are unfamiliar with that were used by the authors. You only need to pay close attention to this section if you want to run similar experiments for your own personal research to make sure you are running your experiments in a similar manner to ensure similar results. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.